Welcome to this Giftworks video. In this video, I want to show you how you can attach files to your donations, that is your gifts or your pledge payments. In previous versions of Giftworks, you've been able to attach files to your donors, but you haven't been able to attach files to your donations. That is perhaps a scan of a check or something specific to a donation. You've always had to add them to your donor. Well, now we're giving you the ability to associate a file, that is a picture or a document, with a specific donation or a pledge payment. And this will allow you to hopefully track information that's specific to donations right with the donation itself. Well, let's take a look. But the first thing we need to do before we can begin to do that is we need to make sure that Giftworks file storage is turned on. Giftworks file storage is just the tool within Giftworks that allows you to begin to store files. So let's go over there. I'm going to click on the settings area. We're going to check out the setting. Click on settings at the top, and I'm going to click on organization options and setup. Once I do that, I'm going to go find the option that says to configure your Giftworks file storage. So let's click on that. I'll notice at the top it says that my Giftworks file storage is currently off. So I definitely need to turn that on to be able to store files. And I have some basic things about what you can do when you turn on Giftworks file storage. I'm going to go ahead and click on turn file storage on. It gives me a warning. You sure you want to turn it on? Yes. Once I do that, it provides me some basic information about where my files are going to be stored, etc., and some options. And you'll notice that it says maximum number of files per donor, and it says 5. That does for Giftworks Standard. You have a maximum of 5 files per donor. And when we talk about files, that is the maximum number of files across both your donors and your donation files. So you're going to add those up, and for each donor, you have a maximum of 5. Now, if you get Giftworks Premium or Giftworks Pro or Giftworks Anywhere, that number goes from 5 up to 200. And the other thing you can choose is the maximum file size. That is per file that you're uploading or that you're attaching to your donors or your donations. In this case, I have it set for 1 meg. So I'm going to keep those options there. Now let's get started by adding some files. I'm going to go over to my donor dashboard and I'm going to right click on Sue. Let's just go ahead and add a donation for her. I'm going to add a gift for her. I'm going to do a $100 gift. We'll go through this and I'm actually going to save my donation here. Now I'm looking at my donation, my $100 gift from Sue, and you notice there's a Files tab here. This Files tab is going to show me files that are related to this donation in particular. So I'll click the Add a File link on the left-hand side, and it brings me up a screen where I can begin to enter the file information that I want to use to add for this donation. So I'm going to click on Browse to find the image, in this case a scanned check. So I'm just going to use my check file. Scanned image, I'll just say scanned check from Sue, and this is toward the building fund, and click on Save. Now I've added an image for this $100 donation. On the right hand side, I see this options link where it gives me options that I can do, like editing the file information if I wanted to, or I could go ahead and actually open or view. This it gives me a little warning about opening a file. It's going to launch some viewer within my computer to be able to view this file. In this case, it's going to open up Internet Explorer here, and then it'll actually show me the scan check. And then I could also delete this if I wanted to as well. So I've added a file for my $100 gift from Sue. Let's go look at Sue's donor information to see how this is reflected. Because keep in mind, this is an image that's associated with Sue's donation in particular. But if I go to her donor information by clicking on her name right here, I can go back to her donor information here, and I can click on her Notes, Tasks, and Files tab. When I do that, what I'm going to see is I'm going to see a reference or a list of her files that she has, and it's going to include any files that are associated with any donations for Sue. Because what we do is we take any of the files that you've added for any donations for Sue, or any of the files that you've added for pledged payments for Sue, and we show you them all under Sue's information. So you can see files that are across all different donations or pledged payments within Giftworks, because they're all related to Sue. We also do that for pledge payments. So let's go over and let's go see. Sue has I think a $1,000 pledge in here, $1,050. Let's view her pledge, and I'm going to receive a payment. Let's apply this $250 payment. Let's go apply this real quickly, and I'm going to click on this payment link that we just received this payment. Click on this payment link, and I'm going to add a file as well on the left-hand side. Let's add a file for this payment. I'm going to go ahead and use my same check file, and I'll just say scan check of $250 pledge payment. And I'm going to click on Save. Now we'll see under this Files for this pledge payment, scan check of the $250 pledge payment. So you see it's specific to this pledge payment. Well, because this pledge payment is related to a pledge, I'm going to click on the summary, and I can click on this link that says 4 payments for $1,050, which is the summary of this pledge. I can go view the pledge itself, and you'll see the payments here, but you'll also see a Files tab here. So even though this file was related to Sue's pledge payment, we also allow you to see all those files at the pledge level, or where the pledge is. So if I receive another payment of $300, this is her second pledge payment, I'm going to go through and receive this as well. And I'm going to click on that link right there, and I'm going to click on Add a File. This is my $300 pledge payment. Click on Add a File. Choose that same check. There we go. And I'll just say scan check of $300. I'll click on Save. Once I do that, I'll see this scan check of $300 here as well. If I go back to the pledge and I view the files, I'm going to see the scan check of $250 and the scan check of $300. So I'll see those at the pledge level for all the individual payments within that pledge. Now let's go back to Sue again. Go back to her donor information, go under Notes, Tasks, and Files, and now you see I'm going to see all of the files associated with the donation that we did earlier, which is the $100 donation, plus the $250 file scan check, plus the $300 scan check. So we can see all those files across Sue, across her donations and her individual pledge payments, and you can see how those files are reflected in a number of different areas. So we hope this new feature, the ability to add files for your donations and your pledge payments, is going to help you track information more specifically, where it needs to be tracked, so you can have better history, better records related to these donations and pledge payments, so that you can continue to solicit well, to track well, and to continue to be successful at your mission. Thanks for watching.